Every now and then when I feel a bit buggy, I look at the floor, maybe need a new ruggy. Scratch that, I'll get some beers and get chuggy. Nah, man, I know what I need, some old man huggy. Old man huggy. Some old man huggy. Put your headphones on for proper audio quality, motherfucker.
It happened, you guys. Just like I predicted. Angry Black Quarterback, episode number 30. Well, that was an ass whooping. That was an ass whooping. Fantastic. Cowboys out physical, Eagles 5-0, 2-game lead in the East. And the Cowboys defense looked anemic. Van Der Esch out. They also obviously lost Diggs before that. It was rough. I mean, we're going to hit the grid. We're going to bring up Elwood. He's got a little dancing doll. Elwood's going to do everything he can this episode to avoid the truth. He's also got himself muted. And we're waiting on 2.0 to come back. But once again, you guys, Angry Black Quarterback Podcast, I really appreciate y'all being here. Episode number 30 of Season 2. I think I see Joseph's head in the background. And it looks like we have a creepy doll. Elwood has lost his mind. Yeah, we can see you, Joe. Elwood's lost his mind. He's spiraled out of control. Ooh, 2.0 with the walk-up, dude. That was epic. Hitman Hart over here. And Elwood's a doll. Elwood's...
Yeah, that's not creepy at all.
Yeah, so...
My name is...
this is the stuff that's in his house,
His pillow's upside down.
Yeah, but that's obviously a clear, sign to Satan. Everybody knows that. I mean, you just gotta watch a Kevin Sorbo movie and you'll know that. Did you
Typical Cowboys fan.
Yeah, so, but episode 30, well, the title of it is, well, that was an ass whooping. Because it was. So we'll get in, obviously, into the Cowboys game. We're also going to get into all these other games of the week. Did you guys win this week?
Nope.
It was close, right?
Yeah.
Kinda?
I don't know. I wasn't watching. I was getting drunk at a boat show.
Oh, okay. There you go. Well, classic. I appreciate that. You're getting a round of applause for that. I love that. If you're going to miss your favorite team's game, it should be when they're bad, and it should be with the excuse of a boat show. That's great. I'm getting drunk at a boat show. Sorry, I missed your wedding. I was at a boat show and got drunk. Like, there's so, I feel like that can get you out of a lot. But I appreciate you being here. Elwood will be here whenever he's here. Crazy week of football. Obviously, we got another big week of football. We'll get into some bets. I don't believe that Mr. Goody will be joining us. He might appear. We'll see. What is this, man? Do you want to talk about the Cowboys game first, since that's like the biggest elephant in the room, or are you gonna sit down?
Up,
or are you gonna hide?
Just got here.
No, let's wait. Let's make Elwood sit and just get him a little nervous about the Cowboys game discussion.
What's there to be nervous about?
Do what?
Okay.
Hmm?
Actually, I gotta address the better thing that's going on in Texas Live. How about them Rangers?
See, stop it. because that's
How about
all
the
that
Rangers,
shit was Monday morning. Because I'm forced. They got rid of ESPN Radio in Dallas, which is bullshit, by the way. So if you live in Dallas and you're not a diehard Cowboys fan or something, they've gotten rid of all of it. All it is local radio at this point. And that's all they wanted to talk about. They barely wanted to talk about the Cowboys. They're talking about it now, today, obviously tomorrow. Now they've been starting to talk about it, but all Monday it was like, oh, Rangers. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, go Rangers. Dude, the Cowboys got smoked. So we can talk about the Rangers later, but we need, like, if we're going to go through all these games from last week, we have to dive into that game first. Because, like I said, we might as well just discuss it. It was the biggest game of the week, the most anticipated game of the week, and arguably the most lopsided game of the week. Yeah, I mean, 42-10, 40-20, 42-24.
No, there's a lot of lopsided games.
No, but I'm saying in point. I mean, 42-10 is the biggest point spread.
Not of the year, though.
Not of the year, but of the week. The Cowboys gave up the most amount of points in a game, and they put up the least amount of points next to the Ravens.
You know,
the Ravens.
If we're gonna go by y'all's logic to the Cowboys games all year, then it's real easy playing when you get a fumble in the first, right? It's so easy when you go up 2 touchdowns early on because your defense. And that way, y'all said like 2 Cowboys games when our actual defense caused turnovers to get good field position.
What I said was your defense is fast and they're good tacklers, but they're not physical.
No,
I've said that all.
You're avoiding a point.
No, I'm not avoiding a point.
Luckily, this is all recorded, so anybody can go back and watch.
That's fine. I've literally
said, it's easy when your defense is giving you 14-0 and Dak doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah, but at some point, if you're down, your offense is going to have to do something, and I don't think they can do it. I've never once said your defense.
I knew the game was over right when that fumble.
2.0. You are a neutral party. Haven't I said all year? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I've said that the Cowboys defense is good. They're good tacklers and they're extremely fast. But I don't think that they're as physical as they need to be when they go up against a team like the Eagles.
It more after Arizona game than anything. Other than that.
Well, I mean, the Arizona game was it exposed the flaws in the defense, and that's when your secondary was better. That's when your defense was 100%.
Yeah, I don't think Arizona exposed anything because
Arizona's above average. No, Arizona's above average. Arizona's your what's his name? Tyler Heineke led.
No, I just think
Washington Commanders that lost by a touchdown and barely lost in the playoffs when the Bucs won the Super Bowl. That's what this Arizona team is.
Let's talk about a team that you barely beat that we crushed. But anyway,
who?
49ers? The Patriots.
No, and all I said was that playing Bill Belichick in week 1 is one of the harder teams to play, regardless of what his team is. He's very good at schemes, especially when he has the whole year to do it. But I also said Mac Jones has been regressing, and he's trash. So, I mean, I'm not saying... I mean, we played on the road. We played them on the road first game of the year. That's always a tough game. Especially if you're playing Bill Belichick at home when they're retiring Tom Brady's number, who we beat in a Super Bowl recently.
The Philly fan won't let me talk good about Niners right now.
No, hold on. We can talk about the Niners, but you're telling me that I said things I didn't say. I've said the defense is fast. They can get after the quarterback. They're good tacklers. But I said that the corners. I said the corners were suspect. I said if you ran into somebody that's going to punch them in the mouth, I don't know if they're built to handle that because they don't have guys built like that. You can't
negate something being said by saying something you also said. You said both things. So, I mean.
No, it helps whenever your defense puts up big points because I've said the offense all year is suspect. The offense doesn't look great. They've struggled. They're not good in the red zone. They haven't been all year. So the defense has really carried this offense and given them room to where then Mike McCarthy can do his little dink and dunk bullshit. Dak Prescott is throwing the lowest yards per pass attempt of his entire career right now. This season, he is throwing the ball shorter. CeeDee Lamb, like I said before, looks inconsequential in the game because he's a big play dude. He's a down the field, catching long balls.
You're missing the big point. Our biggest, actually, technically down the field guy is Cooks, and he's been non-existent.
Well, yeah, because Cooks is damn near 40, bro. Yeah. And Brandon Cooks has had I'm not knocking on you, but I'm just saying when they took him, and it's like, oh, we're getting Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks 6 years ago, fuck yeah, he had what? 4,000 or 5,000 yard receiving years, all with different teams because he always gets traded. But he's damn near 40 at this point, I swear. He's at least 30, 29, 30. And he's a small guy that's undersized. He's speedy. So I'm just saying, it should be Gallup. It should be CeeDee Lamb.
Damn near 40 is when you turn 30, folks.
Well,
you break 30, you're damn near pushing 40.
In the NFL, fuck yes. Yeah. Yo, definitely. In the NFL, when you're a 5'11" receiver who runs a 4.3, yeah, 30 is damn near 40 because you're slowing down.
Anyway,
you're not going to be as fast. That's your game. You're not going to be as fast. That's going to stop.
49ers have more talent than the Cowboys.
100%.
Actually, no, I don't. I think their talent actually matches up pretty well.
No,
I just
absolutely
think the 49ers proved. Hey, let me finish. I think the Niners proved that as a team, they just play all together better as a whole. It's literally they are a team. That's what every team in the NFL should say. Hey, how do we need to play like 49ers?
No way, man.
More importantly, yes, I can. I think it really did show that really got out-coached that game. And, you can only do so much with the talent on the field if you don't have the right coaches moving around the talent. So.
Well, okay. Who's a better quarterback? Who would you rather have at quarterback? Hold on. No. Who would you rather have at quarterback? Brock Purdy or Dak Prescott?
Doesn't matter.
Who would you rather have at tight end? Ferguson or Kittle?
Oh, no, that's what I will say.
It's like the talent, Deebo Samuel or Michael Gallup? Brandon Ayuk or CeeDee Lamb right now? Trent Williams or Tyron Smith, who never plays? It's like, no, the Niners are a better on-paper team. They have some people they haven't had to pay yet, so that's going to change. But you take Christian McCaffrey over Tony Pollard. Christian McCaffrey's leading the league in total yards right now and did last year.
Eagles do so much better, or actually beat the Niners this year.
I think that the Eagles.
I think they're going to clock y'all.
No, I think the Eagles match up. I think the Eagles match up better than the Cowboys do right now.
Oh, of course you do.
Because it's a different conversation. Who would you rather have, Deebo Samuel or Devontae Smith? They're both really good. They both play completely, but they are. I mean, Devontae Smith is Devontae. Well, but they both play receiver.
Ball fast.
Yeah, but they both play receiver. Who would you?
Is a big ass receiver that can play running back.
Who would you rather have, Devontae Smith or Michael Gallup? Because they're the same pecking order at wide receiver. No, you would rather have Devontae Smith because Devontae Smith is produced at a better level than Michael Gallup ever has. That's just factual. He's a better.
Actually, Gallup's produced quite well. He's just. Other than his injury, that's.
I know. So what I'm saying is, but if you would take Devontae Smith's season last year over any season Michael Gallup had, is what I'm saying.
Come here.
Where the Cowboys can match up. Look, if your defense is fast, they can tackle. They're built on getting after the quarterback. They're not built for stopping the run. So if they don't have to pass the ball, when they do, they're passing it that efficiently, like Brock Purdy did, or like in the Arizona game, where they can run on your defense and you can't stop. Then they don't ever have to pass. It's really hard for your defense to do anything. I mean, it's hard for Micah Parsons to be involved. No, because you guys are.
The passing thing. There's one stat that proves that I honestly didn't think it was going to be that big of an issue. That it's actually proving on paper that it is. Cowboys were ranked third secondary in the league with Diggs. The game after Diggs, or the week that Diggs goes out, and every game following, I think Cowboys have dropped to 22 or 23rd.
No, man.
That's pretty staggering.
Arizona ran for over 200 and something yards on the Cowboys defense. And what's his name?
Yeah, but let's be real. The Cowboys did good against Christian McCaffrey.
Christian
really
McCaffrey had
run down us. He really didn't. And a lot of the Cowboys' mistakes throughout that whole game were just really stupid. I couldn't believe our defense. It's usually the offense getting the penalty, but the defense. I mean, and I'll be honest, there was one call in the game, and it was such a pivotal point in the game, was that taunting call on Christian McCaffrey and that one hit that was – did you think that was a penalty hit, a roughing hit on McCaffrey when it was 3rd and 5 and he dropped the ball? And then they called taunting just because the guy was standing there? Bro, what was the game I watched on Monday? The motherfuckers were like – I was like, how is that not taunting when I literally hear him barking at the dude?
Hey, man.
And you want to say Cowboys are fast and not physical, and then the one game they start showing up as physical, the refs are going too physical.
The Niners ran for 170 yards. They had 6.3 yards per play. They had 25 first downs to the Cowboys' 8. And they were only 2 better, 6 of 11 out of over 4 of 11 on third down efficiency. They also ran 67 total plays. They only had 4 punts. They had 6 penalties, just as many as the Cowboys. They had a fumble. They dominated time of possession.
I'm just saying the big plays in that game were passing plays and not. There wasn't one big running play that really broke out.
Dak Prescott, 14 of 24 for 153.
Yeah, we know he
1 touchdown and 3 picks. Hold on. Brock Purdy, 17 of 24. He completed 3 more passes for 252 with 4 touchdowns. And Christian McCaffrey, yeah, he ran for 51 yards, but Mason had 69. Debo had 30. Tyron Davis-Price had 21. I mean, they ran for 170 on this defense. So we've seen 2 teams run for...
McCaffrey holding him under 75 yards. Like I said, it was our secondary. Man, Purdy ate it alive. And it was just a bad performance. But,
there's a formula for this Cowboys
team.
We'll see
what happens with Parsons. Apparently, they're talking about pulling him back to more of a linebacker and less of a pass rusher. So we'll see how that plays out. I did hear about us signing what's-his-name from y'all's practice squad that got cut.
Ooh,
Evans. Linebacker.
Yeah, Evans or whatever. He was on the Titans,
so,
yeah. No, I mean, I'm just saying there's a formula to beat the Cowboys. You can neutralize the Cowboys' pass rush by just running at them. No, because that is...
Every team can do what this...
I've said before...
Not every team has Kyle Shanahan as their
I've said, but if you can run the ball against them, because we had our former defensive coordinator as the head coach of the Cardinals, and they ran all over y'all. So it's more about a scheme and it's about a fit where if you have a large physical offensive line that's going to get in their face, you can make Micah Parsons make decisions on who he's going to go after. You can neutralize him on defense. The way to stop Micah Parsons is to force him to cover the run. Because what's Lawrence? Pass rusher. What's him? He's a pass rusher. Your best run stoppers are your linebackers. And now Evander Esch is out, who was actually played really good in that game until he got hurt. But how he got hurt and Micah Parsons got hurt on that play too. That's an example of Trent Williams and his mentality of blocking people, because he just blocked that all the way through. He didn't know it's not like he did that on purpose, but he moved 2 dudes because he's that physical. He's going to get in their face. And Micah's undersized. Micah's he's good at getting after the quarterback. I wanted him to go to the Eagles. If we didn't get Devontae Smith, I wanted Micah Parsons. And then he went to y'all. He's a beast. Him playing linebacker would be a mistake. He's not that good in coverage. You could isolate him. He's best at going after the quarterback. But they need help. They need Mozzie Smith. They need Hankins. They need these dudes that are supposed to be big bodies and clog up the middle to actually do their job. Because whenever Van Der Ester's making every tackle, he's going to get hurt. And it's not that he's not good. I mean, fucking Nightwolf. He's got a crazy-ass name. And he's a Boise State product, so he worked his ass off to get to this point. But when he's the leading tackler, the clock's ticking, man. Until he's gonna get like a stinger or be out a couple weeks. He's like Sean Lee. It's the same thing with Sean Lee. Sean Lee was great, but he was always getting a dinger or a hamstring, or he gets blocked hard and breaks his jaw, or it's like always something where it's like something gets in the way from them reaching their full potential. It's the same with Michael Gallup. There's a lot of these guys on the Cowboys that have those, that if you're heavily depending on them, they can get hurt. And it sucks because some of them are super fucking talented.
Well, the same thing can happen to San Francisco because it happened.
No, and San Francisco has the same issue.
To be the healthiest they've ever been.
Yeah, Debo tweaked his knee a couple times. There's always Christian McCaffrey. You wince when he gets hit hard because he has a history of being hurt. So for sure, that Brandon Ayuk, this is the healthiest that team's ever been. Probably the healthiest they've ever been besides Brock Purdy, and he looks healthy as fuck. His elbow looks fine.
You did never answer my question though earlier.
Which one?
The taunting penalty.
No, I think the taunting penalties are dumb. We had one in our game a week ago where he catches a touchdown pass, sets the ball down on the ground, and they call him for taunting. And then they drive down and score a touchdown, and then it goes to OT. There's like
I thought
the NFL, dude, no funneling.
Existed in like high school football where it was like,
no,
okay,
dude.
we can't hurt these kids' feelings. These are all fucking grown ass adults getting paid big bucks. Like, I'm sorry. I think there's all this call about your team is part of the controversy, apparently. All this call about the league and having meetings and starting new rules about not letting that the whole push quarterback draw
the brotherly shove.
Everyone's up in arms about it, and I'm like, where all that attention needs to be directed to the. Did we lose Joe?
Yeah, maybe he'll bounce back. I don't know what happened.
But yeah, like I said, I think it's a little ridiculous. But that's no excuse. Like I said, I just thought that was one moment where we actually had a potential of like get some momentum. The defense made a really good stop, and it was a really stupid play. And then the 49ers took all advantage of it and went down and scored.
But this is what I'm saying, though, about the offense, is the Cowboys' offense lacks the ability to generate their own points. When their defense is playing bad and they're giving up touchdowns, the Cowboys' offense can't keep up. That's not the way the offense is structured anymore. This Cowboys coast offense bullshit, which is just like short passes. It's some Andy Reid type shit. And the offense isn't structured for that. Michael Gallup's a good fade route. He's a good deep ball catcher. So CeeDee Lamb. So CeeDee Lamb had four catches. Think about this. You normally get garbage yards, right? At the end of a game, when it's 42-10, you could chuck the ball and it's like, well, Dak played bad, but he was still 32 of 55 for 355, 2 touchdowns, 4 picks, something like that. But you still lost, 17-52. But in this game, they didn't even get that. So he only had 153 yards. Tony Pollard 8 for 29, then 5 for 15, 3 for 7. They just abandoned the run. So they completely abandoned the run on offense, but they still weren't doing anything when they had it. 4 for 49 for 12 yards. So CeeDee Lamb caught 4 balls for less than 50 yards. I'm not a Cowboys fan by any stretch of the means. CeeDee Lamb is better than 4 catches for 49, especially in a game where you're getting blown out 42-10. That's the way the offense is structured. Not saying they don't have the pieces, but they're not. I don't think the Cowboys are running the right plays on offense. It's super. And this is what I told you about Mike McCarthy. Is he lost his job after winning a Super Bowl because Aaron Rodgers was like, this offense is garbage, and they got rid of him, and he won back-to-back MVPs. Because it's like he's an old fucking man. Like he's an old man. And this game this week for y'all scares me, man. That scares me. Because if you guys are playing the Chargers, Kellen Moore's going to try to run up the fucking score.
Well, that's what I was saying. It's like, everyone says, oh, there was such a test, the 49ers. But I think it's back-to-back tests for the Cowboys. Because,
it's revenge games.
Our offense is under test. Because Chargers defense is suspect. They've been allowing big... Chargers have been like kind of like how old Cowboys were. Like, we're going to shoot it up. We just hope we're going to shoot it up more than you do, But, Chargers have a good offense. Kellen Moore, we'll see, how he does against our defense. But, yeah, I'm really torn I'm going to bring in my fantasy team the one time in this conversation. It's going to be one of the hardest games to watch as a Cowboys fan because I got Herbert and Eckler on the Chargers on my team. So it's like I want them to have a good game, but also, Cowboys still to win. So we'll see.
Like, okay, and we'll move off of Cowboys. Is this Dax last year as the Cowboys quarterback?
It can't be, and it wasn't until I heard someone's point. Well, you didn't hear Jerry's comment. I forget what radio station.
Oh, I know. Well, he's a $60 million cap hit.
Well, it's the only quarterback that's going to get us to the Super Bowl, and unfortunately, Jerry has turned less football oriented and more business mind oriented, and I thought it would be kind of the other way around. Especially with his history. But yeah, he says all that because he's got all that money that they would lose that would hurt the actual team, and so
What do you mean?
Let's
Jerry Jones is just now. Hold on, Jerry Jones is just now being more business oriented than overall success of the Dallas Cowboys oriented. Yep. That now he's been like that for forever.
No, you're forgetting years of him having relationships with certain coaches and certain players that really didn't have anything as far as best regards of what the team was. It was just like, I'm Jerry Jones and I'm loyal to my guy.
Well, I've said that Cooper Rush is a future head coach for the Dallas Cowboys because I have a theory where he promotes ginger backup quarterbacks to the head coach position. So he did that with Jason Garrett, and Jason Garrett came in and played and won a game on Thanksgiving. That's what Jason Garrett did. So did who? Cooper Rush, baby. Cooper Rush won himself a game of backing up Dak when Dak broke his ankle. He played that Thanksgiving and won that Thanksgiving game. And then he'll be the backup Jason Garrett was here for forever, went to the Giants, then came back to the Cowboys, which is exactly what Jason Garrett did in his playing career. And now he's back with the Cowboys as a high-paid backup. Telling you, in like 15 years, Cooper Rush will be an offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, and then he'll end up being a head coach, just like Jason Garrett. I have this theory, and so far it all checks out. Everything checks out. Like they literally left and went to the other team to be a backup, and then came back after leaving. They're both.
Well, until I see Cooper Rush as a coach, I won't hate on it.
And there's and the Cowboys are all about their Thanksgiving games, and he's one of those.
Hey, let's be real. That's kind of goes back to the old days where it's like, that's a cool coach name. Old Coach Cooper.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on the Cowboys or anything? You've just listened to us argue. Do you have any thoughts 2.0?
No, this has been very interesting.
I wouldn't say argue.
Borderline argued.
Debate.
I mean, not really.
Okay. What is because what you guys have? Well, he was a dumpster fire last year, so it's like he's like there's hey man, like we're patting him on the back.
I thought Cowboys were dumpster fire for 20 years. What happened?
Well, no, like in overall winning. Man, I hope we win. I hope for the first time in 20-something years we were the first to win back-to-back because we were the last ones to win back-to-back NFC East championships. It's changed hands. You got 2 games to make up, buddy. So that's going to be tough. And you guys got a tough schedule coming forward. Down Van Der Esch, down Diggs. Yeah, you play us twice. You also still have to play Miami. Still have to play the Bills, and so do we. But
Chargers. So.
And then who do you play out of the bye?
Rams.
That's
and then y'all.
And then Miami.
No, Miami. Our last 4 games of the year.
Oh no, then you have Washington. Then you play Washington or something. Washington, then New York or something like that. It'll be interesting to see. But if Rams aren't,
no, we play Seattle.
But with the way the Rams are constructed and they're just now getting healthy, that could be tough. That's gonna be tough for tough for your secondary. So, other games: Bears, Commanders. Bears went off. Commanders look like doo-doo. Justin Fields, 15 of 29, still about 50%, but 4 touchdowns, all caught by DJ Moore. He caught a half of his passes for 230 and 3 touchdowns. Sam Howell,
Is Justin Fields back?
Was he ever like gone? I mean, have we ever really seen? Have we seen?
Yeah, we were talking about like, oh, why are you so robotic? And it's like he blamed the coaching staff. They were talking about, oh, it's no longer the Bears coaching staff are garbage. Justin Fields is garbage.
True, but I mean, Justin Fields is not. I mean, 15 to 29 for 282, and 230 of those are caught by one person. That's like way more of a red flag than it is like, oh, good job. Like, that's good. It was like they hit him on a bunch of stop routes, hit him with these little hitch, and he would just catch the ball. And DJ Moore is a beast. I mean, we saw some flashes of some of the throws he could make, but that's a limited sample size, in my opinion. He played great,
I'm not
limited
saying
sample
he's like
size.
a top 10 quarterback. But
No, I think he deserves a shot. I mean, I think he's with the wrong coaching staff.
25?
If you put him with like maybe Atlanta, if you put him, let's say Trevor Lawrence isn't on the Jags, and you put him with someone like Doug Peterson, who can maximize talent. I think if you put him with someone who's gonna help a quarterback flourish, I could see that being successful. But if it's gonna be a defensive-minded coach, and it's just like, oh, okay, we need you to be like, we're just gonna pound the ball and force him and not play to his strengths and put him in bad spots because they make him run a lot.
Wasn't this the first game where they did play to his strengths?
Well,
that's why people were saying he looked so good.
Yeah, most touchdowns he's had in a game. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is DJ Moore had 3 catches for 230. Cole Kemet had 5 for 42, and then Tanyan had 2 for 10, and nobody else caught a pass all game. And those 8 for 230, 3 of them went for touchdowns. So almost half of his passes were to this one guy were touchdowns. He was averaging 28.8 yards per carry. I mean, that's great, but that's not, you can't constantly recreate that. Because they had lost first downs. They were better in third down efficiency. They had less total plays, had more punts, had more penalties. They just didn't have the 2 turnovers, and they barely won time of possession. So, I mean, Washington shot themselves in the foot, but I'd say they almost shot themselves in the foot more than the Bears went out and won that game. Jags-Bills. Jags beat the Bills. I remember us talking about that. Yeah, no, I was agreeing. I was like, this is a game where we're going to see. They're like a dark horse for a lot of people. Ridley, 7 for 122. Etienne looks like a bell cow back, just 136, 2 tutties on 26 carries. 25 at 37, 1 touchdown, 315. Defense showed up. They got some playmakers. They got a lot of speed. So I'm saying this Jags team is for real, especially on offense. Christian Kirk slides over to that 2 spot where he gets to play more slot, which is what he's better at. When you have Ridley out there, they still have Ingram, Zay Jones. I mean, they got some talent on offense, and their defense is starting to come together as well. And Bills just look like shit.
Well, like I said, I think it proved that the team that has been over there has the advantage over the short travel. And I heard an interesting take about, I forget what show it was on, about how all this is kind of like even test running for potential European teams to be integrated within the NFL.
Oh, yeah, they've been talking about that for a while. They would love to have, if they could have an NFL franchise in Europe, they'd do that in a heartbeat, man. They'd be all for it. Have a whole nother pool of people, whole nother set of games, expand the game, get more people overseas into football. Like, they'd love to do that. And the Jags constantly play, so they stay. There's other teams that have like 1 or 2 games over there where it's like, do we stay? Do we go early, or do we fly in Wednesday, which is a lot of what people have done, and they've said, does that give them jet lag? But I mean, the Bills got outperformed. I mean, 27 of 40 for Josh Allen for 359, 2 touchdowns and a pick. But he was the leading rusher with 4 carries for 14 yards. Like, they couldn't run the ball. They just abandoned the run and were just chucking the ball all over the place.
I feel like people should be as hard on the Bills as they are on the Cowboys. Because so far this season, the Bills, they feel a little hard on Cowboys, especially you. But their seasons are very similar. And I feel like, you know, I'm not saying Dak is as good of the quarterback as Josh Allen, but it's like they both have these weird roller coaster where it's just like wow, you look great. You were efficient. You did what we asked of you. And then next week, it's like you couldn't get anything done. You were the reason we lost.
Well,
Or,
25 to
you know,
20
it's
is a close game. I mean, I think what it is the Cowboys have this Jekyll and Hyde where they're beating you 35 to 3 and then they're losing 42 to 10 whenever it's like, okay, well, you've beat, like I've said, they've beaten all the teams they're supposed to beat. It's, are they going to beat the teams that where it's going to be a little bit closer? And I wouldn't say that it's as close with the Cardinals, like the Cowboys, especially then, because they were 100%, are a way more talented team, player for player, than the Cardinals. But the Cardinals out physicaled the Cowboys, and that's all they looked for to do in this game. Whenever you were San Francisco, it's like we're just going to out physical you. We're going to throw different looks, different motions, move the ball around, and pound you with the ball, and then we'll take our shots when we need to keep the chains moving. Because it's not like he threw for 400 yards, but he had 4 touchdowns. That's efficient. That's him just picking and calling his spots. I mean, 3 of them went to one person, and that guy had 3 catches for 67 yards, and he was the leading receiver in that game. Because they were just like, okay, he's open. Okay, he's open. And the Cowboys are like guessing, like, okay, well, what do we do? What do we do? And when they run the ball, somebody's hitting them in the mouth. Like they're on their back heels. And the Cardinals,
well, I think,
Cardinals were able to do that too.
also, you're missing the big point that was brought up. I forget where I heard that. You know, it is kind of hard, and this is what San Francisco has an advantage over a lot of other teams. Is it's really hard. You know, a lot of the game or teams, it's like, well, if we establish the running game, we can play off play action because you know the defense will be more focusing on stopping the running game and put stuff here. But with Christian McCaffrey, it's like you don't even really have to. It's just like he's always there, so you're always worried about him. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like this. Like I said, I forget who I talked to at the end of the game, and I forget. I might have said it earlier on a podcast episode this year. But fuck Carolina, dude. Why did Carolina have to trade McCaffrey to a team like San Francisco? It's just like it might go down in history. Well, if San Francisco wins a Super Bowl with them, or 2. But this could be like one of the greatest trades ever for a team to get. You know, like what they had and what they acquired, it was just like, okay, yeah, we got one of the best teams. Why not? Let's get the best running back threat in the whole fucking league.
Yeah.
And the team goes, oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, you can have him. You want this guy?
I did see a stat that said before McCaffrey, the 49ers were facing man coverage like 20-something% of the time. One of the worst in the league. Or I guess one of the least amount of times in the league.
Yeah.
And after McCaffrey, they started going against man defense like 40-something% of the time, which is top 3 in the league. So you start going against man coverage because they have to commit more guys to the run. They have to commit more guys to McCaffrey because he gets spill out of the backfield. And that's where they're able to use Ayuk. That's where they're able to use Deebo Samuel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a good scheme. It's a good setup. Next game, Saints and Patriots. Patriots got shut out, like we said. I mean, Mac Jones is just regressed. Yeah. But the Saints, I mean, 18 of 26 for 183, 2 touchdowns. Kamara showed up. Michael Thomas is looking like, I guess, he's healthy. I mean, I don't know what to think of this team. I mean, it looks like the Bucs might actually run away with this fucking division. I mean, they played this week. They have a tough game, but
who the Bucs play?
This week, Falcons. So that would be.
I don't know, man. I said that's.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Was that running game?
They play the Lions. Sorry, they play the Lions this week. So that'll be a 3-1. Yeah, that'll be a good game. So we'll see. I mean, I don't think the Saints look more like the bottom of the barrel in that division than they do look like closer to the top. Colts, Titans. Colts beat the Titans. Of course, Gardner Minshew came in 11 for 14. I mean, just like I always said, man, they've got Anthony Richardson on IR with the shoulder issue. I mean, I hate to be the one to say it, but we were talking about how he's just running around. He's gonna get hurt. Like it's so loose cannon. You can just kind of see it fucking happen. And he's so physical. He tries to be overly physical with people. and unfortunately, it's not college, so he's definitely getting some stingers. But he's out for the next couple of weeks. And Gardner Minshew can win you games. Gardner Minshew can sling the fucking ball around. He makes good decisions. He does not turn the ball over very often. In that big game against the Cowboys on Christmas Eve last year, I mean, it was up to a Hail Mary at the end of the game to see who won that game. That was a crazy game. That's a backup quarterback. And now he's got all the weapons that the Colts have. They got Jonathan Taylor back. Zach Moss looks like a beast. Titans, and of course, the Titans won last week, and then they lose this week. They're another Jekyll and Hyde team. Who the fuck do you want to be? Like, what team are you? Because Derrick Henry, 13 of 43. If he's but Hopkins, 8 catches for 140. Like, it's so weird. Field goal. There's one touchdown, 19 or 20-yard run by somebody other than Derrick Henry. I mean, Zach Moss, 23 carries for 165 and 2 touchdowns. That's beast mode. But we'll see. I'm not sure how I don't know what to think about either of these teams because the Colts are 3-2, Titans are 2-3.
Right.
Titans are disappointing.
The Titans,
their identity the past couple of years has been a rock solid defense, a team that's just gonna grind you down, wear you out. They're not gonna blow anybody out, but they are gonna make you win football games. They are gonna make you earn it. And this year they haven't been able to do that. Derrick Henry hasn't been the same Derrick Henry we've seen in the past. Their defense, which has been reliable, is horrible this year.
yeah, I mean they're like a poor man's a poor man's San Francisco, in the sense that like we're just gonna pound you, we're gonna be physical with you, we're gonna make tackles on defense, we're gonna get after the quarterback. Like you're gonna have a hard time getting through us or around us. We're gonna be there on offense and defense, and we're going to take our shots when we can. We could always use more talent, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're definitely a disappointment, to say the least. Ravens Steelers, these fucking Steelers, man. Kenny Pickett looks so bad. Kenny Pickett
Astros
looks
just won.
So bad. Astros won.
Yeah. So we got the Texas matchup for the championship.
Hey, boy. That'll be good. People will be crazy. It's going to be wild out here. But I mean, Kenny Pickett at 18 of 32 for 224, 22 of 38 for 236 with a pick for Lamar Jackson. I mean, yeah, they didn't do shit. They scored the first touchdown in the first quarter. They were up 10-zip, and then they just gave up 17 unanswered. There's a safety. I mean, I don't know what to think. There was that, of course, that touchdown pass to take the lead.
Well, that's a big rival game too.
So yeah, but I mean, that's just the Steelers don't look good. Like I feel like every one of the wins they have when I watched it, they're 3-2.
3-2? Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of, unfortunately, Cowboys are right there. A lot of weird 3-2 teams where it's just,
I think there's a lot of 3-2 teams that are going to excel or they're going to spiral. Pittsburgh's a team that I think is going to spiral. Like as their season goes on and it gets harder, I don't see them pulling all these games out like they have recently. Because I don't think
record proves different.
No, I know. So I mean, I could be wrong. He just has to finish with one win above 500. Lions, Panthers. Lions destroyed the Panthers. Bryce Young, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, 25 of 41. That's way too many throws for a rook. 20 of 28 for 236 with 3 touchdowns for Goff. Montgomery, 100 yards with a touchdown. I mean, Thielen, another Thielen sighting, man. 11 catches, 107 with a touchdown.
Yeah, he's doing good for me.
Yeah, he's fucking loving it. But Miles Sanders, jack shit. Hubbard was getting more carries and he only had 2 more yards or 3 more yards. I don't know. The Panthers are bad. That's the only thing you can really say about that. And I'm sure they regret not taking Stroud. And the Lions are good. The Lions are good. They got a good quality win on week 1 over the Chiefs. They're 4-1 now. Their defense is showing up. They're running the ball well. They're protecting like their assets. When you think about, it's not just like they're handing the ball off to just one person. Yeah, like they're spreading the ball around. Their defense makes plays. Hutchison's obviously just a hell of a problem with that awesome one-handed pick on that screen pass.
Yeah, you want to talk about how unlucky I was?
That's a scary
My
team. That's a scary
my
team.
opponent had he played Dak all year as his quarterback, and then the week he matches up with me, last minute before the game or before the Sunday, he switched out Dak and puts in Jared Goff, and Jared Goff just goes the fuck off. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And Dak got what? Like, it was brutal. I think I forget what points he got. Not good. I was like, dude, come on. Yeah, I'm actually happy for the Lions.
And they didn't have Amon-Ra, St. Brown that game, so they were missing pieces on offense. This is a very good Lions team that everybody should be afraid to have to play on the road. I mean, if you could get them outdoors, maybe that's different. But if you have to play them in a home game in the playoffs in Detroit, that place is going to be fucking rowdy. And just like we said before, if he wins a playoff game with the Lions, he will have broken 2 curses. Matt Stafford might have won a Super Bowl, but he never did shit in the playoffs for the Lions. So if Goff takes the Rams to a Super Bowl despite losing, still took them there when they hadn't been in the playoffs or been like relevant in forever, right? Took them all the way to the Super Bowl and lost. Then he goes to Detroit and takes them to the playoffs and just wins a playoff game. His legacy to me, his legacy as a curse breaker is bigger than Matt Stafford's because Matt Stafford could never get over the hump with the Lions. So if he gets over the hump with the Lions, what does that say about Jared Goff over Matt Stafford?
Well, I always felt worse for Goff in that whole trade because let's be real, you take your team to the Super Bowl and they kind of just give you up for this other quarterback that's kind of,
and now he's on a team that's 4-1, and right now I would take them to whip the shit out of Matt Stafford in the Rams.
But his first year wasn't easy.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying is that's where you got to give him credit. His first year with the Rams wasn't easy too. So he helped build that team. They were like 8-8 maybe or something like that. It's not like he was a world beater when he came in and he was a rookie. Then they got Todd Gurley. They got more pieces. They got Robert Woods. And then that team got better while he was there. Like, he helped get that team to the point of the brink of a Super Bowl. So if he's able to take this team to the playoffs, what if the Rams and them play in the playoffs and he beats Matt Stafford in LA, let's say, or in Detroit, beats Matt Stafford in Detroit?
Yeah.
That'd be huge. Like I'm saying, as far as legacy, that'd be bigger. I'd have a more fond look on a legacy of Jared Goff than I would Matt Stafford. Because Matt Stafford, it's like, right. Oh, you took the easy route to go win a Super Bowl. Jared Goff, if he won a Super Bowl with Detroit, that would be the most poetic shit of all time. He would be like legendary. He'd be like Joe Namath, dude. He'd be legend. He would be legendary.
Well, Stafford, like you pointed out, he never even won a playoff game. Jared Goff would have taken a team to the Super Bowl, maybe not have won, but took them to it, and then then go to the team and win a Super Bowl. That have the Lions ever won or has it been a very, very long time?
I don't think they've ever won a Super Bowl, or maybe if they have, they've won world championships. But if they haven't won a playoff game in forever. So I mean, if they were to even make it to the Super Bowl, that's what I'm saying. If he were to win a Super Bowl with Detroit, Jared Goff wins the Super Bowl with Detroit, he would be like Joe Namath in the eyes of like the history books of football. Pulling that off, like in the sense where like there's a section in the Hall of Fame about Nick Foles beating Tom Brady with the Eagles in the Super Bowl. That exists because like the fact that he's a backup quarterback who came in all replacing the probable MVP when he blows his knee out and then still goes on to beat the greatest quarterback of all time and pass for in the highest scoring football game of all time with the most total yards of all time. Some backup like that if Jared Goff pulls this off, it'd be the same pantheon where it'd be like, dude, this guy went to a Super Bowl, lost, then got traded, then got shipped out to Detroit where quarterbacks go to die, and then he won a Super Bowl. That's like some Phoenix out of the ashes shit. The old football writers would just like jerk off to that for decades.
I don't know what made me just think of it, but how dare you give me crap for trying to bring up Rangers to give me happiness? Because you forget, this whole weekend was bad for us Dallas people. Or I guess not.
I called that. Hey, and you so you called the Jags. I called that Oklahoma. I called that Oklahoma UT game. Dude, I called that shit.
Now
called it.
Oklahoma played a better game. UT shit the bed. But let's be honest, dude. 2 pass interference calls at the end of the game. I mean, you don't call it on the OU player, but almost the exact same contact. You call it on the UT player. And that, I mean, it's just a moment in the game where you agree that was blatant pass interference by OU player on the Texas receiver. And then
on that
if they call it, that's a first down, continuing the clock rundown, kick a field goal, win the game. But since they didn't call it, it's a turnover on downs.
I think they did. I think they did.
Drives.
I think they did a good job of letting them play. If you want me to be honest, in that game, they really let both. No, they did.
Yes,
I think they let them play. So rather than letting a flag decide the end of the game, they let the players decide the end of the game. Yes, the outcome.
But they didn't because they made. If that's the case, then don't call a flag on both plays.
Well, okay.
You can't have almost the exact same contact in almost the exact same type of play called literally 5 minutes or less than 5 minutes right before it wasn't called. Is my whole thing.
No, I mean it's frustrating.
Consistency.
But Oklahoma played a better game.
They did play a better game.
Gabriel outplayed Ewers by far. I mean, Oklahoma was on them from the second play of the game, interception. If they don't get that blocked punt for a touchdown that quick to kind of make it close, Oklahoma's about to be up 21-0, and it's about to be a barn burner. They're about to run away with this shit. That block punt hyped everybody up, but that lasted for a bit.
Last year's beat down.
Oklahoma outplayed them, but we're talking about the NFL.
No, I didn't see what did Oklahoma jump up to, because I saw Texas drop down to 9, which I was.
Oklahoma's like 3 or like 4, something like that.
Oh my God, that's even more heartbreaking. Oklahoma
Texans versus the Atlanta Falcons. C.J. Stroud, 20 for 35 for 249 with a touchdown. Desmond Ridder, who looked like garbage the week before, 28 for 37 with 239 and a touchdown. Dalton Schultz, 7 catches, 65 and a touchdown. Pitts actually had 7 catches for 87 yards. They actually threw him the fucking ball. Pretty weird game. C.J. Stroud's on this run where he might break the record for most pass attempts without, or most completions without throwing an interception as a rookie. I think he needs 26 more.
No.
26.
You just jinxed them.
No, I mean they've been saying that for weeks. So, I mean, but he makes good decisions, doesn't turn the ball over. They did lose the game. They're 2-3. Falcons are 3-2. That's another 3-2 team that I just don't. No, you don't know yet. You don't know what they're going to turn into. They ran the ball pretty well. Yeah, the Falcons. Spread the ball around well. 7 for Pitts, 6 for Drake. Smith had 6. Matt Collins 2. Then a bunch of people with 1s and 2s. Cordell Patterson was back for them. And they do have a good defense with good corners, but I don't know. I like Desmond Ridder. I want him to be good, but he's driving me nuts. But, yeah, I mean, Texans still in rebuild mode, but they look good, so we'll see. If he completes 26 passes without throwing a pick, he'll already hold a record. It looks like the Panthers wish they took Stroud. You could just tell they wish they took Stroud. Everybody who had the opportunity to take Stroud and didn't, I'm sure anybody who thought about it, gave it a moment's glance. The Bears not trading up for him. I think they all wish they took.
He's Alabama, right?
No, he was Ohio State.
Ohio State, okay.
Dolphins kicked the shit out of the Giants. 22 of 30 for 330, but he threw 2 picks. They're getting a lot of big plays.
God,
it's another one of those teams, man. On offense, I think if they run into the wrong defense and they're going to lay the wood to him, it could be bad news bears. They put up the most yards in 5 games out of any football team in history, over 2,500 yards, which is insane. But I'm not 100%. Yeah, and their defense not that physical. Their defense is definitely the weak side. The weak side.
Mike McDaniel's literally every press conference, I swear to God, he has hit a fucking dab pin right before, and he's just so fucking high and doesn't give a fuck. I kind of like the dude a lot.
Who?
And then it's Mike. What's his last name?
Mike McDaniel.
Oh,
yeah, Mike McDaniel.
Well, he used to be the ball boy for the Broncos, man.
Yeah, I'm just like, did you
Should have
see
been
that
the head
clip
coach
of
for the
like
Broncos. Fuck
it was
Joe
like a
Ellis.
animated clip of him like hitting a vape pen as an anime character in front of the thing, and it was like something that the Dolphins team did as like a I forget what it was, and they go, "So what's up with this thing of you vaping or whatever?" And he's like, they're just a creative team, and we live in 2023, and times are creative, and it's creative. And he literally sounds so fucking blazed. I was like, respect, dude.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they
This
have
guy.
Devon Achan, who's now out with a knee injury, 11 carries for
Oh,
one for
really? I didn't realize
151 for
he
151.
didn't go out in game though.
Yeah, it was after he's got a knee injury, so he's out.
Okay.
He's out. He's a potential candidate
Damn.
for the IR. We'll see. But I mean, he just looks like video game numbers. Tyreek Hill's crazy fast. I mean, they're incredibly talented on offense, tough to keep up with. It's not a secret. They got tons of talent. Their defense, to me, is a little suspect. They got a lot of people long in the tooth trying to
I
make
swear.
plays. I think if you can get on their offense, keep the ball from them, I think you could beat them. But you'd have to maintain ball control because they can score quickly. Their offense is fantastic. But I mean, the Giants are trash. Daniel Jones, you got to feel for the guy just getting rocked out there trying to make plays. He has not enough talent around him at receiver. Eli Neal's the most penalized offensive tackle or offensive lineman. He's running his mouth about fans booing like they're a fucking mess. Bengals Cardinals. Bengals beat the Cardinals. Now they're 2-3. Joe Burrow went off 36 of 46 for 317, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick.
He's back.
Mixon ran well, 25 for 81. I mean, Jamar Chase 15 for 192, 3 touchdowns. A week after saying, I'm always open, I'm always fucking open, throw me the ball. He shows up, catches 15 balls. Cardinals, I mean, the Cardinals just play everybody hard, man. This is a close game till the end. They're 1-4. They're the best 1-4 team. If you told me they were 3-2 and the Falcons were 1-4, I'd believe that. I would believe that off of just without knowing the teams, without knowing the scores of the games, just watching them play. So I mean, they're playing these teams tough, and you got to give them. They get a lot of credit for that. But I mean, they did lose. Josh Dobbs can only do so much. 15 of 32 for 166. They're real limited in their passing game and like the creativity behind it. Their strength is running and pushing people. But I mean, we'll see. That's a big win for the Bengals. I mean, I'd still take the Jags over the Bengals right now. Eagles versus Rams. Eagles won this game. 25 of 38 for 303, 1 touchdown, and another really good pick. Jalen Hurts needs to quit throwing those like close corner end zones. That's 2 games where he's had safeties make crazy toe tap catches. Like he needs to chill the fuck out with that. Jalen Hurts 15 or 72. AJ Brown 6 catches for 127. Cooper Kupp went off 8 for 118. He looks healthy. They did a good job of slowing down Kieran Johnson. Stafford 21 of 37 for 222 with 2 picks. But they're in the second half.
Didn't even mention the one Eagle player that went off for his first time all year.
We'll get into it. I'm running. Those are just when I'm reading those are like the leaders in those stats. But you also had DeAndre Swift 17 for 70. Gainwell had 7 for 17, but some of them were big push plays. Dallas Goedert finally showed up, 8 catches for 117. It was Devontae Smith didn't do anything. Reed Blankenship was back healthy. I mean, the Eagles' defense looked pretty good. They stopped the run really well while they're figuring out the secondary for sure with injuries and new people. The Eagles' run defense looks really strong right now. Jordan Howard is the leading defensive tackle against the run. And then Jalen Carter is Jordan Davis is the number 1 against the run. Jalen Carter is the number 1 defensive tackle against the pass and rushing the quarterback. He had 2 sacks. He looked like a monster on some of those plays. Fletcher Cox being out, I said it might be a Jalen Carter party. And it was a Jalen Carter party. He was everywhere. But they moved the ball well. I mean, Puka had 7 for 71 with the touchdown. But, outside of Puka and Kupp, everyone was pretty limited. And like I said, they had a really hard time running the ball. And once the Eagles kind of got control, got their footing, and were able to force a couple 3-and-outs, they just controlled the clock, controlled the ball. I mean, the Eagles are really good. They had 37 minutes, or 38 minutes to 22 minutes time of possession. 13 to 18 on 3rd down. So they had one less third down conversion, and the Rams only had 14 chances all game. 28 first downs to 17. And 78 total plays to 55. It's domination. We'll move on. Jets Broncos. What's going on, man?
I don't know. I'm just sad. That's mostly why I didn't watch the Broncos game this weekend. I just didn't want to be sad again. We're a bad football team. Yeah, like we do show signs. We are getting better. It's better than it has been, but Russ is going to do Russ things. He's going to fumble the ball. That's arguably going to cost us the game. And we're going to lose to Zach Wilson and the Jets.
Yeah, why can't the
Also-
Cowboys play the Broncos this year? Come on.
Brees Hall had a
That's
big
what
run.
everybody wishes.
I mean, the Jets are 2-3, Broncos 1-4. So I'm saying, do you think the Broncos beat the Cardinals? Battle of the 1-4s.
If James Conner is healthy, no. Without James Conner, yes. But what I also don't get, Javonte Williams last year was a fucking beast until he tore his ACL. This year, like, I don't know what's up. Like, they aren't using him as much. They got the undrafted rookie, Jaleel McLaughlin. He's taking a lot of the bulk carries. Like, yeah, he's quick, he's speedy. But, like, let Javonte eat. Let him be the lead back and let him go do what he did last year and has already established that he can do.
Have you seen that they're talking about trading Jerry Jeudy? They're open to taking trades for Jerry Jeudy.
I'm okay with that. I mean,
He's always hurt, man.
he is, and I don't want to talk too much shit about him. He hasn't had a good quarterback his entire time. His entire NFL career, the entire time he's been with the Broncos. But he has had a lot of drops, which is like one of the few things you can fault him for. So I don't know. If we can make something good of it, yeah, absolutely. Let's trade him away.
'20 of 31 for 196 and 2 touchdowns. Do you think they give? Let's say you guys go 3-14. Do they fire Sean Payton?
No, I mean, I think trading like getting rid of Randy Gregory and looking at trades for Jerry Jeudy shows that we are not in a win now mode. When we got Russ last year, I think everyone was like, "Oh, we're back, baby! Let's go! We're doing it!" And
That's
we shit
right.
the bed. That's right.
That's right.
But no, I think the ownership is patient, and they're committed to rebuilding this team back to the Broncos that we've loved, that I've loved. I guess the Broncos under Pat Bowlen would be a more accurate statement, because ever since he left, the organization has gone downhill. So I think right now they're just in kind of a transition phase, maybe even a rebuilding phase. Like, we have the veteran quarterback, we have the veteran coach. Let Russ do his thing. He's not going to go out there and win us a Super Bowl, but if we can get him to just do his job, we can build around pieces, and then by the time he's ready to retire, we either have a quarterback that we've already drafted and has been the backup, or we go out and get a new quarterback that can take our team over the next hump and get us to the Super Bowl.
Well, Eagles play the Jets this week, and that kind of makes me nervous just because they're tough on defense, and Brees Hall's a monster, so they're just going to try to run the ball. I like our chances, but I think it's kind of a trap game for the Eagles, and the Jets are another team that are going to play you hard. They're a team that's going to play hard. They're not going to quit. That's one thing that I got to give a lot of these teams, and I'm not saying that the Broncos have, because the Broncos have played hard as well, but, like, not quitting is a big part of it, and the Jets don't quit. Washington Commanders aren't really quitters. They're going to go out there and play you as hard as they can. So that you got to give them credit where credit's due. Chiefs beat the Vikings. Vikings are now without their star receiver who hurt his hamstring. Looked like Kelsey's leg exploded, but then he ended up coming back. If you're a fantasy owner and you have Jordan Addison, he's about to light it the fuck up because, you know, they're down Justin Jefferson. Kirk Cousins, 29 to 47 for 284, 2 touchdowns. They can't run the ball for shit. They can't run the ball. Jefferson had 3 catches for 28 yards before he got hurt. Pacheco, 16 for 55. Patrick Mahomes, 31 to 41 for 281. So those are pretty short passes, but that's still ball control. 10 catches for 67 for Kelsey. I don't think the Chiefs should struggle with Minnesota like that.
The Chiefs are a shell. Okay, did you guys see the 3 missed penalties that happened at the end of the Chiefs-Vikings game?
Not missed. They threw all 3 flags for 3 different penalties and then said there's no flag on the play.
Yeah,
I did
how
see
does
that
that
one.
happen?
I saw a funny meme too where the guy did the voice of the refs and they all got together and were like, hey guys, you know, it's the Chiefs here. Like, if we do this, they're going to lose the game. Yeah, I saw Minnesota's coach pretty livid. And the one thing he was more livid about was the Chiefs player taking his helmet off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's
he's
that.
like, how
Which
that's
is
that
a personal foul.
15
That's a
yards
15-yard penalty.
automatic.
And
they were like, put your helmet on.
I get the other 2 penalties if y'all can converse about that. But what is there to converse about? He took his helmet off. This happened. There was, you know.
Yeah.
He talked to the refs with his helmet off.
And the ref
he took off his helmet to plead his case.
And the ref told him, put your helmet back on. He tells him, you tell him, say, put your helmet back on. So there definitely some home cooking.
Ball.
Definitely some.
There was no ball tip either. Yeah.
Definitely some home cooking. Definitely, and it wasn't even a home game, but people are getting frustrated. They're tired of the Chiefs. They see these little things and they're going to nitpick them. But there are good. There's been a lot of missed penalties, blatant calls, where people are like, I don't know what holding is, but that looks like holding. It's like, yeah, he's picked that guy up in the air by this jersey. It's definitely holding.
We gotta have what I think the new progressive outlook on politicians are as the same as refs. Do you see some of these refs out there in the age that they are?
Oh yeah, but I mean, it's a process that you
expect these old dudes to truly be on their game and see shit right when it happens. Because if we got dudes that old out there, we might as well just rely on fucking robot or, you know, drone refs that can fucking catch everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say like that takes away an element of the game. The same reason they still have like blue in baseball.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You telling me
you know,
can't
like
train
the human element.
Refs make good money. You
yeah,
know, we know the ref.
There's some younger ones, but it's a process to reach that level to be able to officiate NFL games. That's like a prestigious ass job. So to reach that point, it just takes time. There's so many qualifications.
You're telling me you can't have refs under the age of 60?
There are a bunch. But, you know.
Yeah, but there are also some that
either way, there's going to be an overcorrection where it's going to swap over, and in one of these games, they're going to get like 15 penalties for 115 yards. It's going to be some heavily penalized game that's coming the Chiefs' way. Just an overcorrection, so people stop bitching about it. There'll be something where the refs will be out there and be hyper, like, aware of whatever they're doing. Like Kelsey will get 2 or 3 offensive pass interference calls. Stuff that like normally wouldn't get called. He'll get called, and one of them will be on a touchdown. And he'll come back because he'll do a little slight push off, and they'll call push off, and everyone will boo, and it'll probably be a home game. That's like probably what's going to happen. The league's good, I guess, if you could say that, but there's always these overcorrections. It's the same in the NBA. Everybody's bitching about it, so they've probably gone and looked and seen these calls they've missed, and so these refs are like, dude, you guys better knock this shit off, because they answer to people too. So, last game, because we already talked about the Niners absolutely destroying the Dallas Cowboys. Packers, Raiders, awful game. Packers 2-3, don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Raiders, bad. I mean, Jordan Love started off on fire, and Jordan Love's throwing 50% with 3 picks. Jimmy Garoppolo, Captain Dink and Dunk. Josh Jacobs signing, he actually showed up and ran the ball pretty well. Their defense was getting after it, Max Crosby and the boys. I mean, but these are both, I mean, the Packers, we thought they might be better. I remember us discussing they might be better than we thought they were. And now they're about where we thought they'd be without Aaron Rodgers. The offense is a little dysfunctional. The defense is being leaned on too much, and the defense is getting tired when they're being asked to do too much. And they're collapsing at the end of the game, just like the Packers have done for years now, since the last time they won the Super Bowl. Offense doesn't produce like it should, and the defense just gets leaned on, whether it's in a playoff game or it's for a season. That's always what's happening. And the Raiders, I mean,
Well, and the fact that
I don't really buy
the
into the
Raiders won
Raiders.
without even Devontae having a really big game, which is one of the big players they've leaned on.
True, and
in games.
They had a good, they have a good secondary. You have Jair Alexander over there across from him. He's a good corner. So, but he said like, oh, the defense has got to. We can't. He said in some interview, we can't be giving up points because if we do, we lose. Basically, being like the offense isn't doing shit, and it's true. You can tell Greg Jones is pretty ineffective because they're just able to load up the box. So, and he's also coming back from injury. This is going to be they're a team that could spiral too. The Packers could spiral. The Raiders can spiral. These are all teams that are like 2-3 or 3-2, and it's like which direction are they going to go? Because we don't really know yet. It's too early.
Well, that's what I will say. Since Cowboys are kind of looped in this category now, I'm actually happy about our schedule because for the first time in a long time, I feel like going into the playoffs, there will be no question of who the Cowboys are. Well, who can we be? Our schedule is just so tough. It's just, I kind of like it because we're not going to have this whole year of like getting by, and then all of a sudden when we first meet competition, it crumbles all.
If you guys drop this game on Monday Night Football to the Chargers, then go into your bye week, then come out of your bye week and lose to the Rams. I'm not saying you will, but that means you'd be going into and the Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
Now we don't have easy games. But the Eagles, I mean, we play the Jets this week. Then we play the Dolphins on Sunday Night Football. The Dolphins come to Philly, so that'll be a good game. Interesting game to watch for sure. But that's two good teams, two different strengths, two different styles. So we'll see how that matches up. Then we play the Commanders. Then we play you guys. So I mean, let's say if we win 2 of our next 3, we're coming in 7-1. You guys could be coming in at 3-5. Or 3-4. That's possible.
Yeah,
and then we have our bye week. So we don't even have our bye week yet. Then we come out of our bye week and our schedule's super tough. I mean, then you guys got the Giants. That should be a good, easy win because you've done it before. Panthers should be an easy win at the Panthers. Unless it's like a snow bowl or something like that, but with global warming, I doubt it. So I mean, this will be you guys need to win this Chargers game moving into your bye week. So you go into your bye week, you're not 500. You're a game above you're 2 games above 500. And
that's what scares me too. Is both teams the Chargers really need to win it too.
Yeah, Chargers need it, and the Chargers are going to chunk the ball around. So they're going to try to run the ball with a bunch of different people, and they're going to throw the ball. They're going to isolate your linebackers because you're short there. You're short at corner. It's like, they have injuries and they're missing pieces, but that's that's going to be a good game. It's going to be a tough matchup on defense for the Cowboys. But Herbert likes to hold the ball for infinity. So if they sit there and they try to make him throw it 40 times, the more Herbert throws it, the better off the Cowboys are in the game. Because then your pass rush is getting to him. Michael Parsons is creating opportunities for turnovers if he's dropping back to pass. But if they get up like 10-0, 10-3, and they can run the ball, that could be difficult. Because they have Khalil Mack.
Well,
they have Derwin James. They have Derwin James out there. They have like all pro talent at at least 2 of the 3 levels on their defense that are going to be flying around. So it's going to be an interesting game.
This is Lily, by the way. You asked.
Well, super cute.
Her name's Lily, and we were gifted her.
Well, we pressed the button, so
it instead of Elf on the Shelf, this is the Halloween version.
That's not what
And if you're not nice to her, she haunts your dreams. So,
that's terrible.
gotta be nice to her. Gotta be nice to her.
Lily on a dilly?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what the?
Moira, dude, Moira loves her, bro. She literally like hugs her. I'm like, Moira, you are my daughter.
Yeah, that's totally your child. Likes the demon, baby.
Oh, we have a skeleton dog in the front yard that she hugs and kisses every time we get home.
That's like creepy sweet. Like, oh, that little devil,
Oh, dude.
that little devil child's hugging those dog bones.
No, you should have seen it. There's a skeleton sitting in a chair, and it's kind of a creepy skeleton. It's like kind of like looks decayed. And first day she sees it, instead of being like, coming home from daycare, being like, "Whoa, what is that?" or "Whoa," she literally goes up to it, grabs its hand, and goes, "Nice to meet you." I was like, "Oh, I love it."
Well, let's get into bets with Mr. 2.0.
Yeah, you should have listened to me last
Let's
week.
go. Let me
The
pull up
Jacksonville
my
game.
notes. Yeah, you called it. I got a little greedy with that. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Okay, so last week we went 3-1. Should have been 4-0, but like I said, I got a little greedy. So going through it, we had the Eagles -4.5 at the Rams. Talked about that. Eagles handled business. I think a lot of the hype was on Cooper Kupp coming back, but the offense does look good, just not enough for the Eagles. The 49ers covered the -3.5 against the Cowboys. Already talked about that a bunch.
A lot more than that.
The Chiefs covered the -4 against the Vikings. Shouldn't have happened because of the bullshit last play for the Vikings at the end of the game. Again, we already went into that. NFL really needs to do something. Then we had the three-leg teaser. The Lions covered the -4 against the Panthers. Covered the -10 as well, I believe. The Dolphins covered the -5 against the Giants pretty easily. But the Bills did not cover the +0.5 point against the Jaguars. I threw that in there as a gamble. Try to get the plus money. I should have just went with the two solid ones and taken the 4-0, but you live and you learn.
How many units?
So overall, 3-1.
You know how many units you're at? Because you're up for the year, right? You were what, 9-6 before, or what were you?
Yeah, so this gets us to
12-7. 12-7 on bets. That's pretty good. 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
You get a round of applause for that. That's great.
Thank you.
What do you got for us this week, Money Man?
This week, three bets. We got the 49ers -6.5 against the Browns. This is more so anticipating that Deshaun Watson will not play for the Browns. Even if he does, the number will come down a little bit, but I do still like the 49ers to cover less, getting less than a touchdown. I mean, we saw last week, 2 weeks ago, what the Browns offense looks like without Deshaun Watson. I like Dorian Thompson-Robinson a lot. I think he'll be a good quarterback, but he just looked out of his element. The game is too fast for him.
Oh, yeah.
And I think if he has to go against arguably the best team in the league with the 49ers, I think they're going to have a field day. So that's why I like the 49ers -6.5 against the Browns. And then we got I'm taking the Lions -3 against the Buccaneers. The Lions are good this year. We've talked about them a lot on this team. They've improved a lot throughout the years. I like Dan Campbell a lot as a head coach. And the Buccaneers, yeah, they're 3-1, but they've beaten the Vikings, who are 1-5.
Yep.
The Bears were trash. And who the heck is the last team?
Well, then they played.
Who was the last team? I just saw it. I had it up. But anyway, while I pull that up, their one loss was to the Eagles, and they got absolutely demolished. So I think, the Bucs are the type of team, they can beat the bad teams, but when they go up against the upper echelon of football teams in the league, they're going to struggle. They're going to get their shit kicked in. And I think that's what happens this week with the Lions. So
Yeah.
I like the Lions -3.
Yeah, I like that. That's going to be. We've seen like in that beginning of that Eagles Bucks game, the Bucks basically have to play perfect football for them to have a chance for the game to be competitive. If they turn the ball over, if they get behind, like the Bucks offense and the Cowboys offense are so much more similar than they're. It's true. It's they're so much more similar than they're different because the way that their offenses are structured, they're not putting their best players in position to make plays because they're lacking some ability in certain spots. Don't get mad. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, you know.
Oh, that's not fair. I'm sorry because
part?
they have Bucks have a better record, so that's my bad. I'm sorry.
Cowboys' one touchdown in that game actually was such a good pass. I'll move on.
Yeah, and then Turpin's on the IR now too. That's right. He made that caught his first touchdown, and now he's on the IR.
Yeah, no.
It sucks, but like that's what I'm saying is like, and you saw in that play that they have the ability to make those plays, but they're not dialing those plays up on a consistent basis like they were last year. It's almost like break up remorse when it comes to somebody like a Kellen Moore, and you see just like how highly productive and the scoring that came along with the offense and how drastically different it is without his creativity in the room.
All right, so last bet here. We got a 4-leg teaser.
Ooh, here we go.
So we got +260 here. So we got the Panthers at the Dolphins. We're taking the Dolphins from -13.5 down to -7.5. We got the Eagles at the Jets. We're taking the Eagles from -7 to -1.
So pick them.
We got the Cardinals at the Rams. We're taking the Rams from -7 to -1. And then the Bills against the Giants. We're taking the Bills from -14 to -8. So I quickly dive into these games. Dolphins, their offense is electric. The Panthers are horrible. I don't know what else needs to be said about that. The Eagles at the Jets, you did say you were kind of concerned about that. I do think it will be a close game, especially in New York. I think kind of that stadium, they've seen that Zach Wilson isn't the dumpster fire that he was last year. This team does see that he is not that bad. He's bought in, so they're going to kind of rally around him. I think the Eagles are still just too good. They only have to win by 2 points, which I think they can definitely do.
Well, and the Jets are down their best offensive lineman in Veda, their guard. He's out. He tore his Achilles last week, so he's out for the rest of the year. So they're going to be. That's what I'm saying. The Eagles could rest Fletcher Cox, and you could see more Milton Williams and Jalen Carter and those guys, and give those young guys a shot. With Hassan Riddick having 2 game-clinching sacks back-to-back last week. I don't think that the Eagles can't win this game. Like I said, it just feels like a trap game to me the week before we played the Dolphins. And the Jets are very physical. They're going to be a physical team. You got Quentin Williams. You got C.J. Mosley out there. You got a lot of people. You got Sauce Gardner out there. So you'll get Sauce Gardner versus A.J. Brown, which is going to be a great matchup to watch. 2 completely different styles because A.J. Brown is definitely more physical than Sauce Gardner, or they're gonna have him on one side, and then when the Devontae Smith's over there, it's gonna be great to watch that little quarterback 2 receiver versus the best corner in football battle. But yeah, I think the Eagles can win it, but the Jets just makes me nervous.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. So then we had the Cardinals at the Rams. Cardinals, yeah, they've been playing everybody tough this year, but without James Conner, that offense becomes almost non-existent. We saw that last week after he went down. I think it's gonna continue to happen this week. Rams are also going to be in their second week of having Cooper Kupp back. I think their offense is going to be clicking on more cylinders. They're firing on more cylinders. They're going to be able to utilize Cooper Kupp and Puka even more. I don't see how they don't cover the -1. And then the Bills -8 against the Giants. The Bills that was the upset game of the week last week. Now they're on primetime TV. They're going to come out. They're going to absolutely hand it to the Giants, remind everybody why they are one of the best teams in the league. And again, I think they blow them out by way more than the 8 points.
How many sacks does Von Miller have? Because he's back. I think he has at least 1 sack.
2.
Yeah, 2 sacks by Von. Then they'd be like, "See, this is what we're talking about with Von Miller." I can just hear it. Chris Collinsworth just on his knees. I can hear it now. Yeah, I hate Chris Collinsworth. And to think he was like a good receiver, I'm like, this bird man. I just just run a seam route and just once. But I mean, the Bills should handle them easily, which is sad because also the Bills with Daniel Jones, the neck injury, he might not be playing because of the neck injury, so you'd be playing Tyrod Taylor, who I think everybody who loves football loves Tyrod Taylor, but I mean, he barely plays. Last time he was gonna start, he got his lung punctured out in San Diego. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens, but yeah, the Bills should beat the shit out of him, for being honest.
Yeah, so quick recap here. Got the 49ers minus 6.5 at the Browns. We got the Lions minus 3 at the Bucks. Then for the teaser, we got the Dolphins against the Panthers. Dolphins from minus 13.5 to 7.5. Eagles at the Jets. Taking the Eagles minus 7 to minus 1. Got the Cardinals at the Rams. Taking the Rams minus 7 to minus 1. Then the Giants at the Bills, minus 14 to minus 8. And all that together is plus 260.
All right. Well, that's 2.0 with the bets. Safe to say Goody has left the show and doesn't want to come back and do bets, which is fine. What do you guys got? Anything else you guys want to discuss before we wrap this bad boy up? We're sitting on like an hour and a half. I'm trying to make sure I get you guys out at decent bedtimes. Spooky Dad. Spooky Dad and, 2.0.
I just, the Rangers, even on the radio today, had no clue. It's been, the last time we were good was 2010 and 11. I was like, God, it was that long ago.
Let's just hope
that much time.
Well, I want them to do their thing and win. You also don't want them to be. You don't want to see the Rangers sweep all the way to the World Series. So I'm almost glad they're playing someone like the Astros because that was going to be a tough series. The last team we saw sweep their way to the World Series was the Rockies, and they got destroyed. So it's like you don't want that long break. So I'm glad.
Well, I think it's fitting, and I would love for the Rangers to win the series with what's his name, Bushi, or the manager,
Bruce Bochy.
Yeah, the guy that beat us with San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, it'd be shout out Rangers. Rangers killing it.
Plus 10.5. I will be.
It makes me feel better if it actually happens. I'm gonna go with Jets over the Eagles.
Oh, there you go. I would be in a dick.
That's fair. That's just a spite play.
It is, but it's fine. I deserve it.
Let's be real. Let's be real. If you look at the schedule for this week, there's not really any other games that are a potential upset. Because would Seattle beating Cincinnati be an upset in our eyes this year?
Cincinnati's 3-point favorites. Can you consider that an upset?
Well, I just think Seattle's, they're doing good.
Oh, I think we lost him.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, he's back.
I just had to let my dog out.
Oh. Well, all right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and call it because I want to eat some food. But
yeah, I'm probably going to
30 in the bag.
The news that I've been watching the past all days.
I appreciate you guys stopping by. We'll do this next week. We'll have more updates. Should be a good one. Yeah, happy Halloween. 'Tis the season. But no, I really appreciate you guys stopping by. So thank you to Creepy Dad, Spooky Dad, Elwood, and Mr. 2.0 for being here. Y'all are awesome. Round of applause. Thank you guys.
Adios.
Adios. All right. Well, that's episode 30. Well, that was an ass whooping. Cowboys got their asses kicked. A lot more football coming up this week. We'll see how it goes. The bets were 12-7 on bets. Well, so we're up big time. Should be a good week of football. Stay safe. Say your prayers. Be good, y'all. Peace out. Lights.